Welcome to Time for Hope, a faith-based mental health program. Join our host, certified clinical mental health counselor and Christian psychotherapist Dr. Frida Cruz, and her guests as they discuss real-life issues and offer expert clinical advice and solid biblical application for any and all life situations. Now here's the host of Time for Hope, Dr. Frida Cruz.
We are always delighted to have you join us for another edition of Time for Hope. I'm Dr. Frida Cruz, your host, and today my guest is author, pastor, and international speaker Dawn Scott Jones, and she and I will be discussing her recent book titled When a Woman You Love Was Abused, subtitled A Husband's Guide to Helping Her Overcome Childhood Sexual Molestation. For over 20 years, God has used Dawn and her own personal story of sexual molestation to ignite hope and healing in the lives of thousands of people and to help husbands understand the emotions and fears that are holding their wives captive. Stay with us as Dawn and I discuss how husbands can help their wives recover from and thrive despite her past abuse, offering hope for a healthy marriage. Dawn, it's great having you on Time for Hope. Thanks so much for coming and being willing to share your personal story. A lot of women, I think, would be ashamed still. Sure. Because that comes from this. Shame comes out of your story and your experience. And you've done such a wonderful job of writing about your story in the book. I, of course, had patients when I was in full-time private practice that had gone through what you have gone through. Right. I am so thankful that I did not have to experience that. I want my Father who's in heaven to receive the credit, that he had 3 daughters and 1 son, and we were free. We didn't have anything like that to be concerned about. I never saw my dad give a crosswise look at me as our bodies were growing and developing and so on and so forth. And I was with him so much. We did so much together, he and I. And he was just a rarity, I think. Yes. According to the stats, absolutely. 1 in 3 girls.
1 in 3 girls. And, first of all, your story of a carefree, innocent, beautiful childhood is just something that I delight in for you, because I know for me, as a young girl growing up, I didn't have a clue what that was. I would look at other girls like yourself and I would see the relationship that they had with their dad, and I wanted that so much. But it was very foreign to me because my childhood hero, my dad that I looked up to, that I loved, one night became a perpetrator. And he wasn't my hero anymore. He was my abuser. And that changed everything in my life. You used 2 words a moment ago that are very significant. One was the word shame, and that's all I knew. And the other word was free, and I didn't know freedom.
But you do today.
But I do today.
Thank the Lord for His Son.
Amen.
Thank our Heavenly Father for His Son, that you can be free.
I am free, and that's why I wrote the book, because I want other people to experience the freedom. You said it a moment ago, you had so many clients that walked through the ministry with you, needing freedom from the pain of childhood sexual abuse. 1 in 3 girls. That is an astronomical statistic.
And 1 in 6 boys.
And 1 in 6 boys. And it is just rampant in our society today. But what's good today, if we can use the word good, is that at least we're having conversations like this. So thank you for having me here, and thank you for what you do to help set people free and give them hope, because there is great hope in this.
Yes. When we look at the stats, and we realize also when we know people, I have a friend, a very close professional friend, that it happened with a cousin. Just a once or twice occasion, I think, but it still brought on some of the stuff, much of the stuff that you bring out in your book. But again, I had a grandfather that I didn't have to worry about, a wonderful grandfather. And I had a first cousin that was older than I, and we were soulmates. And he would have protected me under any circumstances. And so I just had it all the way around, and I am so thankful to my Heavenly Father for that.
What did that do for your self-esteem?
A lot.
A lot, right? You knew that you were loved, you were protected, you had security, you were able to thrive and to explore life. And look at all the things that you've done in life. My goodness, you were able to do all those things because you grew up in an environment where you knew safety and security and love, and I did not have any of that. My parents were wealthy. We had money. My dad had prestige. He owned his own business. He was the song leader of our church. My mom was the choir director. My dad taught Sunday school. From the outside looking in, people would think that we had all that. I can remember people seeing me as a young girl growing up, coming into adolescence.
You had it made,
and saying to me, "Oh boy, I bet your dad answers the door with a shotgun." And that would break my heart, because I'd think, no, if only you knew. He is the shotgun. He's the one that's wounding me and hurting me.
By the way, I wanted to ask, I don't know if your sisters would want me to ask this, but were you the only one out of the girls?
I was not, and that is their story, but I am the youngest of 3 daughters, and we all experienced this pain.
And your mom knew about it. So often moms don't know what's going on.
She did not know. She and I talked because
she did not know.
She
I'm
did
sorry
not
that
know.
I said that. I understood from reading that she asked you and did know that there might be that possibility.
She did. You're exactly right. I came home from school one day, and my mom was sitting at the table, and she was looking like this, tears in her eyes, and she said, "I need to ask you a question. Has your father been inappropriate?" And I just froze, and I said, "Yes." And she slammed her fist on the table and said, "Oh, that snake." And well, I found out after she read the book, that's not what she meant. And she had asked me a question about a story that my dad, a lie that my dad was perpetrating, and we were on 2 different wavelengths. But because of my guilt or the shame that I carried, assuming that everybody could see right through me, I assumed that she knew. And so that was a real healing moment when my mom and I were able to talk about it, because not only was it painful that I was being abused, but it was painful that I wasn't being rescued. And so I struggled with my mom, like, why would you allow us to stay in this situation? So
but he was good enough at what he was doing that she didn't know.
She didn't know. And even when that conversation happened, I was well into my teenage years. But no, my dad was very, as abusers are, they're very manipulative, and they need to threaten, even though it might be covered, a very covert threat, but it is, boy, you sure couldn't tell anybody this, it would break your mother's heart. Well, the family would be ruined, and it would be your fault.
That gives us one of 2 ways that they protect themselves, and that is with threatening. With threats, or making you feel like you're the most special little girl in the world, and that everybody does this.
So, or both end,
both ends.
Boy, if you talk, then this special moment that we have and this specialness, that it'll come to an end. And so, you'll
get me into trouble.
You'll get me into trouble, or I'll be put away, and I'll never be able to be here for you again. And I don't know how you guys will get any money or what you'll do, Yeah, so there's a lot of threats, and you feel all the responsibility. Of course, children have magical thinking. They think it's, my fault if mom and dad get a divorce, or it's my fault if I'm being abused. Everybody admires you and respects you, so it must be my fault. There must be something wrong with me. And as a little child, we internalize it all, and we grow up feeling not even just like I've made a mistake. We feel like I am a mistake.
Yes, I think there's some more stats I wanted to look at here. 90% of the victims know their abuser.
Right.
And then the common ones are fathers. Stepfathers are notorious for this kind of thing.
Yeah, they justify it. It's not really my child.
Brothers, uncles, and grandfathers. Yeah. Then babysitters. Babysitters take advantage of situations too. Teachers and neighbors. And 25%. Can even be women that are abusers.
It's hard for us to believe that. We think moms or women are the nurturers, but women do abuse. And it's 25% of the women, most are men, but and then again, if 90% of people know their abuser, then it is the same. It's moms, grandmas, babysitters, school teachers, aunts, older sisters, cousins. People we know and trust.
Yeah, I have read where this can cause transgender identity confusion. Absolutely. And especially if it's woman to woman, right. that it takes place. Let's just look at a few more of them. Let's see, 80% of childhood abuse victims suffer from at least one abuse-induced psychological disorder, and 1/3 of people who are sexually abused become abusers themselves. That's just really a sad part of it.
Right. Sad statistic. They do what they've learned and what they know. And
there are more stats that we could put out, but we'll leave. I think those are the vital ones.
It's interesting that you talk about the people who have survived childhood sexual abuse or sexual abuse even as adolescents and grown people. It's not just a physical experience, it's a biological experience. And it does indeed cause psychosomatic struggles, triggers, problems afterwards, anxiety, depression, sleep disorder.
The brain. Did you bring that out?
Yeah.
Because of the neuroplasticity of the brain, and it can get in there and get stuck.
The trauma, it gets stuck and you relive it over and over. It doesn't know where to program it or where to process it.
PTSD could come from this too.
It often does. It often does. And I struggled with some post-traumatic stress as I grew and started having some difficulties, and I did not connect the dots because I buried my sexual abuse. I didn't want to deal with it, but I had to because my body finally told on me I couldn't take anymore.
They tell me that a break's coming up, but I want to read this that you say in your book. It would have been so much easier for me to face my abusive past if my husband and I could have created a partnership. And that's what you're trying to bring out in your book is how husbands can help abused wives, as it were. If I could have trusted him with my pain, which I believe you finally could trust him with your pain, and if he could have, no, that was your first husband.
Right.
Yeah, that you couldn't trust your pain with. So we're going to just come out with that you did in your book. That your first marriage didn't make it because
28 years.
You were with him 28 years.
Yeah.
And he didn't understand what you had gone through.
We never could get that breakthrough.
Well, that was a second thing to cause you lots of pain.
Oh, yes.
But God still saw you through, and you have a loving husband today. So helping a sexual abuse survivor overcome the pain of their past is challenging, and most men become confused about how to help, and some don't want to.
Some don't want to. That's exactly
so we want to put that out before I go out on break. It is time, and we'll be right back. Studies and stats consistently reveal possibly 1 in every 3 girls in America have been sexually abused. Boys also experience sexual abuse, but at a lower rate than girls. Sexual abuse is any misuse of a child for sexual pleasure or gratification. Sexual abuse can predispose children to all kinds of developmental, psychological, and behavioral problems, which can range from remaining stuck in shame, pseudo-guilt, maintaining a low self-esteem, alcohol and drug addiction, prostitution, sexual gender identity issues, and relationship disturbances, sometimes showing up in a marriage. Researchers have actually found clear changes in the brains of people who were abused as children and committed suicide, as compared to others who were not abused and died in an accident or by suicide. Sexually abused children and adolescents often carry their secrets, wounds, shame, and pseudo-guilt their whole lives, often robbing them of meaningful marriages. Others act out their pain by choosing to believe the lie that their real self is of another gender other than what their body reveals. Some have pushed the pain and trauma so deeply within their unconscious selves that only another trauma, relationship crisis, or other precipitating event can open the wounded self. Accepting reality regarding what we know or will admit to, related to what has been done to us, can be very painful, but it is the only path to freedom. Stop believing the lie that you have to keep the secret and remain a prisoner of your past. Instead, believe that your past does not determine your future. Find someone you can trust to share the truth of what happened to you. It might be a friend, spiritual leader or director, school guidance counselor, or professional mental health counselor, or even your marital mate. With appropriate help, you can move forward to a new beginning. And last but foremost, I challenge you to receive the truth that Jesus Christ, the Son of the Creator God, knows about your past and pain, including your struggle related to your sexual gender, and is ready at any given time to provide you with the truth of what it means to be male or female. In relationship with Him, there is hope for recovery and healing of all shame, low self-esteem, other pain and behaviors, and the freedom that you have longed for. It's yours for the seeking and asking. We always appreciate you joining us on Time for Hope. My guest for today is Dawn Scott Jones, and we're talking about her book titled When a Woman You Love Was Abused. And I'm glad it was. That we can say that. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and put the subtitle in, because you're directing this towards husbands to help their abused wives. A Husband's Guide to Helping Her Overcome Childhood Sexual Molestation. Yes. So when I think of your name, Dawn, I have so many friends that their name is Dawn, and I have a special friend down in St. Kitts whose name is Dawn, and I hear from her on a regular basis.
Well, I'm glad it's a good thought.
It's a very, very good thought. Good. And So when we've gone over some of the things that you have felt and have written about in your book, and I've heard about in counseling sessions, and we mentioned shame. We didn't mention guilt. And that's one of the main things that come out of this. I can remember older women having a very difficult time with feeling that they did something to cause this.
To cause it. It's my fault.
Yeah, taking responsibility for it rather than allowing the perpetrator to accept that.
That's exactly right. And if you think about it, if you go through life feeling that you're guilty for something that you did and that you deserve to be punished, everything that you choose for your life is kind of colored by that belief. So I don't deserve to go to school, or I don't deserve a good job, or why should I have anything good because after all I'm guilty. And you start seeing that you're living far less than the abundant life that Jesus came to give us. You're making very poor choices for your life because you, after all, are flawed and damaged. You don't deserve any better, and it was my fault. I deserve to be punished. So there's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. You punish yourself because you believe that somehow it was your fault. And as you mentioned, the subtitle of the book, I wrote this for husbands because that's how I went into my marriage. I didn't realize it, that I was carrying all of this baggage into my marriage. And when I got into the marriage, I had stuffed the memory of childhood abuse, but it started coming out as triggers and things were happening in my marriage.
Yes, it can be put down, sealed away in your unconsciousness, and some people go through life leaving it there, never bringing it out in the open. That way, you would be reacting to behaviors of your husband, and you wouldn't be aware of why you were doing it, and neither would he.
And neither would he. And why I was so angry. I was so angry. I don't know many survivors, one of the emotions that they can access easily is anger, because everything's all balled up into that. And so even though it might be sorrow or grief or shame or pain that I'm feeling, it just came out in anger for me. And so my poor husband at that time, he didn't have a clue what was going on with me, but I was sabotaging my happiness. I was sabotaging my relationship because I felt guilty. I felt ashamed, and I had not dealt or processed with the pain of the childhood sexual abuse. So it was coming out. And you said that. Isn't it amazing how our mind can really block those things out? We can just really, really put it away and say, I'm not going to deal with it. And that was me. I just refused to look at it. Until
well, you don't have much choice as a young child. You either find someone you can talk to and tell them about it, or push it down. We call
suppress it.
Yeah, suppressing it, and it gets to be habitual, and so you just open the door. I've said it to many a client. You just open the door long enough to shove more in and close that door tightly with it. So I understand that being done, yes.
And you're afraid to open that door for any emotion because
all of it's going to come out. And I've said that many, many, many times, that once you open that door, if you don't get it shut quickly enough, everything's going to be tumbling out that you've shoved in there.
That's right.
And it's not always sexual abuse that people do that with. They do it with other pain, with other sin in their life. They do it with various things. They'll open that door long enough to shove it in there and shut it real fast. One day, though, one day it's full, and it refuses to be shut anymore.
Yeah. That's exactly right. And that's what happened to me. It got so full that it started to come out in my body with panic attacks and anxiety. And it was the age that my daughter when she became the same age that I was, my first memory of abuse, it triggered me. And that door that I had shoved everything in came flying open, and it all tumbled out. And it was just a crisis at that moment, emotional crisis. But that was the beginning of the healing for me. It had to happen.
Dawn, I have decided there's so much material here and information that we're going to do a second week. Okay? So all you have to do is sit there and let me finish today's show out, and then we'll start a second one. And I do have something to share from a viewer. Dear Dr. Freda, I was molested when I was 7. I have always carried around shame and guilt. Because of this, I lost the ability to have children. I want to become sexually whole again. Please pray for me, as I have struggled with this my entire life. And what a prayer request. And then I have a word of encouragement that has come to me to share with you. Dear Dr. Freda, your program Time for Hope really impressed me. I enjoyed Dr. Cruz and her message. It was the first time I have seen this program on television. Well, I hope you're watching today and making it a habit to watch Time for Hope. It blessed my heart, and I really liked it. And I appreciate that word of encouragement. The other thing that I would encourage all of you to do is, if you haven't shared your prayer request with us, do so. We take each and every prayer request that comes into Time for Hope up with our Heavenly Father. And we know that He is able and willing to help you. If it, these requests range from salvation, needing jobs, broken marriages, all kinds of things are shared with us that we take to our Heavenly Father. And so we would encourage you, if you haven't done that, to do that. And then I would encourage you to consider helping us financially with Time for Hope that has now gone worldwide, and it does take finances to carry it on. So we would appreciate your thinking or asking the Lord about that. And then the other thing is to be sure and join us next week as we continue and conclude our discussion related to Dawn's book, When a Woman You Love Was Abused.
A free fact sheet that contains additional information about today's topic is available upon request from our ministry. You can also receive a copy of today's resource for a contribution of any amount to the Time for Hope ministry. Call us at 800-669-9133. Write us at Post Office Box 2169, Spartanburg, South Carolina 29304. Or visit our website at timeforhope.org. When you call or write, prayerfully consider a donation to our ministry. Our ministry's mission is to offer hope to discouraged and hurting people. As we continue to give out messages of hope, a financial gift of any amount to support this ministry will be greatly appreciated. When you do this, you are joining us in offering hope to many viewers seeking help and hope for their situation. This will also enable us to inform and inspire some viewers to expand our mission, as they learn and in turn can minister more effectively to hurting people around them. Until next time, have a great week, and remember, it is time for hope.